Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another episode of the After Game Unwind podcast. This is episode 8, and I have a lot of interesting things to talk about, so I hope you get a comfy chair, relax, grab some of your favorite food, grab your favorite drink. Without wasting any more time, let's talk about the first topic of the episode. Remember the days where, more often than not, you would probably beg your parents to go to a retail store like Walmart, GameStop, Toys R Us, you know the deal. And your younger self would practically go, "Come on, Mom, let's go," or "Come on, Dad, let's go." And your parents are like, all right, we'll take you. Those are the best days. Those are the best days, and nothing compares to midnight releases. And you know, those are the best times to be a gamer, because whether you were standing outside out of a store for hours at a time just to get to 12 o'clock midnight to get your favorite game or get your favorite console, it was fun. You would hang around the employees, you would hang around the store, check the demos, have conversations with people, and, it was such a great time. And, it was something special. It was something that it was like a big event almost. It was like a big event that people went to, like comic or PAX Time, PAX East, one of those gaming conventions. But there were people in a location of like a GameStop or Walmart or Target or whatever big box store, and people were there to talk, people were there to play demos, showcase the promotional artwork that the companies had for the game coming out at the time, lots of stuff, and one of the most notable releases, which probably stands here in Australia, because I think this is where I got my information. Australia likes to have the big console releases, likes to have the big console releases, and the PS2 was probably one of the big releases going on at the time, and even America, I can't remember if the US had a big launch event for the PS2, because if Sony didn't do a midnight release here in the United States, honestly, they would be a fool, because the PS2 was probably the most hype that we got throughout the 2000s and was the biggest console to ever release in that time period. Now, one of my fondest memories when it comes to the 3DS and Wii era is Nintendo Direct, and Nintendo Direct was started back in 2011 by late great President Toru Iwata, and he made these directs what they were today, and the people at the company now don't really make as much directs, where it kind of shows the spirit of Nintendo. And back then, there was a lot of Nintendo Directs that showcased the spirit and fun of the company, and kind of less corporate. They were just videos, but they were some of Nintendo's recent, I would say, cook-ups that detailed some of Nintendo's most recent cook-ups of games that they were going to announce for the upcoming holiday season or the next year. I remember the year Luigi Direct where Iwata and Miyamoto were having fun together, and they had like these little Luigi hats to celebrate the year Luigi. It was such a fun one. It was really such a fun one, and it was such of the best times that Nintendo really showcased their spirit of gaming to thousands or maybe millions of people. Switching gears for a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about the GTA 6 delay. There's not a lot of people that have commented on the GTA 6 delay, but for the few people that have spoken, I've got something to say. I get that the GTA 6 delay is frustrating. I get that it makes you wait for a little moment and it makes you kind of wonder, like, why isn't this coming now? Why is this coming so late? But I have to tell you, you know, these games, I would say, if there wasn't time to for people to develop this game or people to work on this game, would probably be a good. This would probably be a bad game, to be honest, and no game would probably get released and or marketed. And yes, I know about the situation about the Duke Nukem Forever thing that happened like a few years ago, that it was in development hell for so long, Duke Nukem Forever, and people didn't like it at all. I get that. I get that. You don't want another Duke Nukem Forever situation. But like I said, do you really want a bad game, or do you want a game that takes lots of time and takes lots of effort to put together and get a somewhat fantastic game on your hands? I get it. This is gonna be a unpopular opinion, but at the end of the day, take the developers and I would say the publishers into consideration. While I get that they don't care, and it's something that we've been telling them for so long, we just have to wait because either way, you're getting a good game. And if that doesn't happen and they decide to rush it, it's gonna be a game that it's not worth the money for. So either way, you get one or the other. You get a crappy game or you get a good game. You know, it's just how it is, and people, you've got to live with that. And I know I gonna get probably comments from gamers saying otherwise. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the After Game Unwind podcast. If you want to go back to a certain topic in the episode that you liked, there will be timestamps below suggesting where you go to that particular point in time to view that specific topic. And if you enjoy the podcast and my other existing content, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, as that helps out a ton for your support for the podcast and even existing and new content coming out soon. Thank you very much for your time. Happy gaming and happy travels.